This part is really, really challenging to make. The reason being is because it's so tall and thin. Now this one actually has a little bit of forgiveness in it because if we look at the layers, we could actually support it from the bottom, but you have to have some sort of support spacing here in order for the support to be removable. You can't have the support embedded in the part. And this also doesn't work for very tall, thin plates that might be perfectly vertical to where support can't possibly generate. So how can you possibly produce this part without having a ton of Z-banding and wobbling near the top, especially on something like a bedslinger printer where this thing is zooming back and forth? Ideally, you have a better printer than that, but if you don't, the other option to address this is with what is called support combs. Now, a support comb is something that we'll create inside a 3D builder here. It is an external STL that we're gonna bring in. And actually, here it is right here. This is a basic support comb, and we'll actually share this file over on our Patreon. But you can see it is a vertical post with a wide base with several small sprues coming out the side. These are 1 millimeter in diameter because that's the smallest reasonable size for most 3D printers, and they are perfectly horizontal, which means that as the nozzle comes around, it will travel out to the end of this and then come back, and you'll have a small kind of thread or finger sticking into the part. So in order for these to work, we first pull the part into 3D Builder, and then position this where we want it to be. You want it to be as close as possible because obviously you don't want flex anywhere in here. And these fingers are made to be extra, extra long so that they can reach out into these weird curved parts like this. But the issue is that now you have these fingers sticking out the other side, and we don't want that. We want this to be perfectly contoured with the part. But first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this comb shoved in as close as we can. We do not want it all the way up to the top of the cones. You want to have a little bit of just finger there, and that will do us quite well. All right, so I'm going to copy that plate, and it's going to move exactly a single axis over, and then we're going to go up here to edit, and we're going to subtract that plate from this part. And now you can see the fingers have been split based along the profile of this part, and we're going to get rid of the opposite side, and then we're going to take this and move it back into position. Take the duplicate and move it into position. Just like so. And then we can take this and shift it in just a little bit to make sure that those fingers are sinking in because it was cut along the profile. So you want to go a little bit further. And now we can go ahead and merge these two parts. And now you have a part that has support all along the side. It has this single pillar, which is a piece of structure, and then these really small sprues going into the piece that can then be snipped off with flesh cutters from the outside. And we use this for a number of different kind of tall, thin parts in order to allow them to be printed reliably and quickly and in the same plane as the layers themselves without having to be laying flat. It improves the surface finish of the part because doesn't have to be some large flat side on this fin. It can print up from the small area, and then you just have a few small pock marks, very similar to like resin prints that appear on the outer surface. And if you're using PLA, you can hit those with a heat gun and they will basically disappear. So hopefully this helped you. And this is a solution for supporting very tall, thin parts without actually having to have support or having to re-engineer the part in some way. It's a very quick type of disposable support that can be engineered to the part itself. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let us know down in the comments if there's other sorts of 3D printing challenges that you've run into that you'd like us to cover. And we'll see you again on Tuesday or Saturday when we publish every week. Have a great day, everybody.